falling back into you. I thought we'd be smarter. I got nothing left to lose. You said you fall with me, no matter how far it goes. Down deep and under, we're stuck in this pattern, but I need you close. All I ever wanted was for you to prove me wrong. You're changing our colors again and again. I could never let you go. Something about you feels so different, makes me wanna risk it. Every time I look at you, you pull me back into your river. Swim a little deeper, I don't need to breathe with my head underwater. Not sure I really care. We're all of our demons, if they ever disappear. I will forgive you if you're forgiven me. We're stuck in this pattern, but I need you close. All I ever wanted was for you to prove me wrong. You're changing our colors again and again. I could never let you go. Something about you feels so different, makes me wanna risk it. Every time I look at you, you pull me back into your river. Swim a little deeper, I don't need to breathe with my head underwater.
Shot for goal, shot for goal, shot for goal, shot for goal! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on wherever the heck you might be tuning in from. Thanks for joining us here on Shot for Goal, the weekly pod show bringing you what's hot, what's now in Ultimate. We're in the off season in the Northern Hemisphere, but there's still plenty to chat about. Me and my weekly co-host, Noah Brinkworth, bringing you our 2, 3, 4, 5 cents worth on matters that are here and pressing, and sometimes that we're just delving into and letting our imagination take over, as will be the case today, to some end. Some facts coming at you, but to some end, a little bit of opinion going on right out the gates, though. Noah, how has your week been? How you been since I seen you on this podcast about 7 days ago?
Pretty good, man. I've just come from a fad sport at the moment. I've been playing some padel. It's gripped the nation in the UK. It's a big thing. You see everyone on the social medias doing it. I love it as well. I'm playing some Ultimate as well. I've got there's been some like indoors at the weekend. I didn't play indoor open, but we got some indoor mixed coming this weekend. That'll be real fun. And yeah, it's been a good week, Stef. And yeah, speculation today. Like, I think I'm gonna throw out a lot of opinions or a lot of ideas that are kind of unjustified, don't have loads of some have nice neat strings, nice ideas. Some it's just like this player's vibe is matching another player's vibe. And yeah,
well, sorry about that. I just heard you in another eardrum there. But yeah, you're right, Noah. We'll see. Before we get straight into it, I've got a few. We get 2 truths and a lie, because I have my ear to the ground on some of the Some of the transfers, are we calling them? Or is it just straight up pickups?
It's the transfer window.
This year is presenting the greatest potential for team stacking that Ultimate has ever seen. It is.
You hate that, right, Stef?
I know, I love that. I was if I was coaching one of these teams, I coached at the last WCC, and there was a bunch of American pickups that joined primarily European teams. I think this whole thing started really was on the map when Kocher and Mickael went over and played with Colony in 2018 WCC. Colony made that final, agonizingly close to being able to knock off Revolver, but Revolver did win that one. But I think that kind of set the standard for, hey, there's some awesome U.S. players that get fourth place or worse on the national scene. And, you and I have just assigned ourselves a little game there and going through those rosters and looking at those teams that are fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and beyond. And, looking at the top end of at least the stats. And of course, what we know is, wow, there's a lot of potential for some serious team stacking. So why don't I start us off, Noah, with this two truths and a lie? Does that sound about right? Something you want to get into?
Hell yeah, let's hear it.
All right. So we have 3 European Open teams, and we're going to talk about some of these teams as we keep going. And now I'm going to give you 2 pickups that each of them have. Some of these teams have room for more than 2 pickups. Some of these teams, I would say none of these teams are only taking 2. Maybe. But this is where these conversations begin. I think some teams have room for 5, 6, and there are no limitations.
La Fota set the standard at 3. And it's really about what your national federation allows to an extent, right?
Is that where the limitations are? Is that is it a yay, nay, or do you think some of the federations have it written into constitutions of sorts?
I'm not sure. What comes to mind is I'm sure the German Federation have a rule of exactly how many pickups are allowed, but maybe not. I think the UK Federation in particular is pretty strict. But
they got nothing to worry about with Clapham.
Yeah, I mean, they are. But I think these things go part and parcel. Cy Hill, head of UKU, was Clapham member, and I think that there's a shared set of principles between that team and the organisation of UKU, and so I think there might be a little bit of picking up the UK. But I think Belgium, for example, is a nation known to be on the other side of the picking up lots of players debate. I guess there's, I don't think many people are really calling. I think the last time there were serious calls for we got to stop picking up was the Dan Demarais.
Next time there's going to be a rule about it.
Yeah, for the nationals tournaments, for example, U24s, our national team, we could only have 3 players who didn't hold a UK passport, who were residents. So for the UK scene, for UK U24s, it makes it quite difficult because lots of international students come to UK and study at universities and are pretty good at Frisbee, especially if they're Americans or Canadians or come from Singapore or China, good ultimate nations. So it's much harder for those players to make the team.
But that's playing for a national team.
Yeah, but for the club teams, I mean, I could imagine the same kind of rule coming over that. You're representing you are assigned the bid by the National Federation, and then maybe you should be in some way representing. I guess I don't really think I would want that to be the rule, but I can see if they were going to do a rule. I'd like the rule to
come from the WFDF, not from the National Federation. If the rule comes from the National Federations, you're really just limiting the chances for your clubs to be able to succeed, to use the full extent of the rule set. I mean, there are some teams that will say, no, we want to do it our way with locals only, and that's it. But there's some teams that are you go back to that Colony team that were damn good, and at the addition of 2 shit hot players, put them over the top. I think Is No Good is definitely a case. The team I coached 4 years ago were good, but we're not 11th place in the world good until we picked up Joe White and Tim Schock, and then we were able to be in that upper echelon and chance to swing at quarters with things like that. So.
The passport rule is a thing that's gone from WUFTF. That's not a UKU thing. That's a thing that all of the teams, all the national teams have to abide by. You can have 3 players who don't hold the passport of the country you're representing, right? That's a good model for how it works. It feels a little bit strict for club teams, though, right, Stef?
Yeah. Like club teams is just different culture. You're not putting the coat of arms on your jersey or whatever. It is not representing the nation explicitly. You still go when you represent your club. You represent the nation that your club comes from to some extent, but it is not a direct, explicit representation.
Especially in Europe, right, when you can drive an hour over the border and be in another country for your training and be playing for another country.
Fall asleep on a bus and wake up in a different country.
Exactly, right. That feels like a thing that should kind of be able to happen if you're like an hour or two away. Like, that shouldn't be limited, right?
Fell asleep on a plane, flew over the Atlantic, and woke up in another country.
Well, that's what we're going to be talking about a lot today, the American players. But, I think the Colony team, I would say, is a pretty good example of it. Yes, Mickael and Kocher were fantastic, probably the best players on that team. But they weren't so numerous that great Australian players like Cupcake,
Rob Andrews, Sean,
Rob
and
Andrews.
There was so many. There was
so many great players.
Gav Moore was still awesome back in that campaign. I think even Mikey Meald was still playing. Yeah, there's so many good players. Mark Evans, Mark the Shark.
Mark Evans, he was great. He was great that campaign.
So yes, well, are you ready then? I've asked you once. I'll ask you twice. Here's
the two truths and a lie.
2 truths and a lie. So we have 3 teams. I'm going to tell you 3 open teams in Europe. 1 is from Italy, and 2 happen to come from Belgium. So you're not going to have to guess too much who the teams are. La Fotta is the Italian team. Mooncatchers are one of the Belgian teams, and Gentle are the 3rd Belgian team. So it's exciting that 2 of these are true. 1 is not. Find the fishy one. La Fotta have picked up Quinn Feiner and Brett Holzmeier.
Okay.
Gentle have picked up Orion Cable and Alex Atkins.
Okay.
Moon have picked up Henry Ing and Micah Glass.
Okay, let me talk you through it. Gentle, Alex Atkins was set to play with them for 2025. Obviously had knee problems. Did he do the full ACL in the end?
No, it wasn't an ACL in the end.
It wasn't an ACL in the end.
Yeah, he recovered. He played U.S. Nationals with Pac-Man, remember?
Yeah, of course. So but he had problems that took him out of the parts of the European season. Gentle also took themselves out of the European
Gentle,
season.
he was ready. He was prepared to go back, but Gentle didn't qualify for UCF.
So I think that one reigns true. You can see the Orion Cable as well. That was Orion Cable to Gentle is one I had down on my list of players I think were going to go.
Why do you see that?
Well, Toba and Orion connect so well, with Toba on the throwing end and Orion on the receiving end. Boston Dig, probably more notably this season from Boston Glory. Dig had a little bit of disappointing nationals, and Boston Glory won the UFA, right? Or am I getting that wrong?
No, you got that right.
They got that right, and they picked up all the kind of MVPs and Best Players award between Toba and that was a great campaign for Boston. I can see that happening. Now moving to La Fotta, we know that La Fotta love to pick up players. Harder to see the connections, and maybe I can see like a Quinn Feiner Pingu connection for La Fotta. Between like super team stuff. Was Pingu's super team 2025 as well as 24, yeah?
Yeah, he's one of 5 doubles.
One of 5 doubles.
Super team campaigns.
Super team double. But then Holzmeier, there's not quite so clear a connection, but I think it's the sort of player I can imagine like Lafort are loving. Like Orion going over in 2022, massive big receiver body. I think that's a thing that the Italian teams think they don't have enough of. I think they're right. I think it's the right kind of profile player for them to see. Now, Mooncatchers. Henrying, Micah Glass, both fantastic players who are clearly, gonna would make the team better. It's harder to see where the connection's coming from. The connections don't seem quite as neat as they do for the other team. So I'm going to say, Stef, that the gentle one I'm almost sure is the truth. I'm going to say that another truth is that La Foto one, and I'm going to say the Mooncatchers, Henrying Michael Glass, is a lie.
I am distraught to tell you, Noah, that my quiz was too easy and you've got it right.
Hey!
Well done.
Very nice.
We'll have the party celebration music and jingles coming soon. That's something we'll load up for next time. Grabco. Yeah. But yeah, there's more that I'm not allowed to share with all three of those teams, in fact. And I will say that Micah Glass, Henry Ing going to Moon came to me as a confirmed rumor. And I went to Moon, we'll say. And
I heard what you almost said there as well.
So I went to Moon to look for verification. And it was basically, it fell through because Moon wants more of a commitment than was able to be provided.
I was almost going to say that, right? I feel like Moon really want to try before they buy. Like, I feel like they pick up a lot of players, but they kind of get integrated more slowly. They're having kind of like longer term connections with the players. I can imagine they're going to want more players that are like would come over for a few warm-up tournaments. I wonder if the Moon will go back over to US Open. I heard they had a fantastic time last time. So, I mean, a lot of commitment on a busy Worlds year, but it'd be cool for them to do. And obviously the easier place where you can see them pulling from is Machine because of Dan Desmarais.
Yeah, but Machine is going.
So it's also going. So it's tough.
I mean, I think Moon have enough of a reputation now since the last WUCC, since going to US Open, and since being two-time European champs, that they get a lot of clout. Like, PA was the coach of Tokai Super Team as well. Like, they got a lot. Soph played as well in the US and Chicago. Feller played in Raleigh Durham. Like, there's a lot of them that get around now and have been around a lot of tournaments. So I think like there's a lot of people they could call up even if they weren't ex-teammates and be like, oh shit, a chance to play on Moon. Yeah, that is probably the best chance of winning that a non-US team has in the Open Division.
So without giving up too much away, Stef, name me a couple players that you do think might be the top of the what Moon is targeting this year. Maybe some speculation. Throw some speculation and some ones I don't know if you know who's going.
I like this question, but I want to put it off and get back to it.
Okay.
I want to talk about this as we go down the list of players and or teams. I will say what I think.
Is this not the top of the list? Mooncatch the top of the list.
Moon is, but I still want to talk about these three teams a little bit first. And I guess here we are then. We're starting with Moon. We'll talk about Moon, Gentle, and La Foto to kick things off. Moon is an empty slate. And from what I've heard about Moon, and from what I truly believe is their O-line is fine. And I would love for them to stay Euro O-line. Euro line. As soon as you start saying names like Henry Ing and Micah Glass or Rafi Hayes or whatever, it's like, okay, well, shit, that does change things. Like, you can find a place, you can find somebody to oust on that O-line to put them in. Mm-hmm. But I don't think, that's what they want and or need. I think that O-line is good enough to win a world championship if they got more soldiers playing D. What I would want as a Mooncatchers coach is the best big defenders in the world. And I would want to take you know, their defense is good. Mooncatcher's defense is good. But you look at the guys, and they're not the hugest defenders. You get your veteran defenders like Oczynski. You get like Louis Betrancourt, the up-and-coming, young, wiry. Like, he's not short, but he's not a big dude. I would want the guys that can kind of run.
Players like Hockey, right? Like, he's a smaller guy, right? It's hard.
Yeah, they're good, and like they got speed, they got smarts, they're well coached. But I would take so the top of my list.
And when you look at like Spaholtz, right, how well he did in 2025 coming in, I think that's a profile that
exactly
just load up
that's
on
what you want is the Spal. You want give me one or two more Spaholtz style players for that Moon D line, and they get scary.
Yeah.
So if I'm picking my top MMP defender on the transfer portal, I'm probably going first choice AJ Merriman. Is somebody that I think fits the bill. Unfortunately, I've heard he's unavailable, as he is a Dominican native and will be playing for the Blue Devils.
Yeah. I think
not...
this is what I was thinking about a few players. I was like, well, I could put them on this European team, but really I think that given Pauk, I think a few players are going to be coming over and going that way.
So then my next, and he's not quite as big, but he was either the defensive player of the year or the runner-up defensive player of the year in the U.S. this year with Rhino, and that's Daniel Lee. Is somebody we saw again on the U.S. team on the Sands in Portimao. This is the first time I really I've seen him play with Rhino, but it was the first time I locked in and watched him play, and he fits that bill. He can take any player and lock them down. Big guy, small guy, fast guy, handler. I think he's a better upfield defender than he is in a squirrely space. But he would probably be my first choice to fill the role if I was the Mooncatchers.
I take your Daniel Lee suggestion. I'm going to raise you David Sealand, another great Rhino defender. Also tall. I think he's I thought he was listed, I think he's listed 6'5" or something. I'm not sure if that's actually true. I think he's more 6'1", 6'2". But big guy, great defender. It's great when they turn the ball over. And I think he kind of plays in a little bit of chaos as well, which is kind of the Mooncatcher's way. I think that, I could see him working well with Abeltinch on the turn to just kind of keep the disc rolling across the field. Throws his body around as well.
You know what else needs to be said about the assessment of these players is especially when you're looking for a defensive player, a lot of guys who are O-line players can be awesome D-line players. Are they willing to take the demotion as much to join a team and be a D-line player? But if they were, and this guy, I think, is young enough and athletic enough. But the other one that I would consider could fill that role because of his athletic ability and speed is Noah Kuhlman. And I think Kuhlman would be a cool man to have on that side as well. He would be, again, good. So we got some Rhino defenders. We got a Bravo O-liner. But all right, let's move things along. We got a bunch of teams that we got to discuss.
You want to keep on those three?
Yeah, let's go.
Who should Gentle complete with if they're going to start at Orion and Alex Atkins?
Yeah.
What else they need?
Well, I mean, first you talk about their O-line. Is that going to be primarily internal or external? I think they got to go with the external players and put them on the O-line. And then it's how many of them are you bringing? Because I think you could almost get a whole O-line externally for Gentle if you keep Toba and maybe Arthur van de Weg and you bring 5 externals or 4 externals. I don't think that that's what they're doing. But I would really be excited to know that Orion Cable, Alex Atkins, Toba de Krana are the upfield trio for Gentle. and then you add one or two to that upfield. And I mean, you automatically go to Boston to start thinking about it for the connections.
I wonder where you're going. I've got a clear place I'd go in Boston.
I mean, for me, the dream is Jeff Babbitt. Like, I mean, that's the easy answer. He doesn't do so much club. I mean, he won the last WUCC with Pony. He was on that team. And he did the last season club. He does do club. It's not fair. I think he focuses a bit more on UFA is what I'm trying to say. Like, would he be a good fit as a pickup player? That I'm not sure. But for me, Jeff Babbitt adding, imagine like Babbitt, Atkins, Toba, and Cable upfield. Like, you look against an Italian or a Japanese defense or something where you're going to get a lot more diminutive matchups, and there'll be a lot of pants being crapped on that line when they're taking their defensive assignments.
I think if that is how it lines up, I think you're going to see Toba come in more into the backfield like he has been doing for Boston.
I think
like
Atkins would too, to be honest.
Stats nowadays, when you look at his like US stats, he's getting more assists than he is goals. He's coming back. He's like first cut and then chucking the bomb on for someone going deep like Cable. But like a pure distributor's got to get him the disc first. And I'm looking at someone you know very well, Stef, another Boston player. And can play D-line as well, but known for his offensive talents. I'm going Tanner Johnson-Go.
Ah, TJG.
Yeah. How great would he be? I think he would be like fit the kind of stable nature, could work with like the Van de Vegas, who like to keep it stable at the back and is also kind of unleashed to the bigger athletes. And even if you need to throw him onto the D-line.
With Ine as his coach before?
I mean, doesn't it checks so many boxes, right? Like, he's more known for his mixed play, but he was fantastic in the UFA, and a lot of people were saying it was what Boston did were missing when they had a disappointing club season, as he was a player, one of the few players who doesn't go over from the UFA to club for Boston, instead goes to Sprocket. But I think they were really missing him on D-line points. He plays more D-line in Boston.
And I think if we're talking one player, as much as Jeff Babbitt, and the Toba Jeff Babbitt connection has obviously been awesome. Babbitt is an absolute beast, but I do think a handler fits that O-line better with with the amount of arsenal they can put out upfield. They'll have the Van de Vegas. How fit will Aaron be? Arturo will be fine. He'll be playing O-line almost certainly. But yeah, I think I like what you're saying there. So let's
keep it moving.
Let's keep it moving. La Fota.
Okay.
What do you think about the Feiner Holzmeier? I like it. I think Feiner fits that style well. He's a bit more of a big cutting space kind of player than the La Fota system. I think maybe both of them might be, but I think if those two are playing together, especially if they're like cutting pairs and initiating with whoever's on the pickup, I think that they go that is an incredible opening attack. But I would want to kind of keep it a bit more La Fota style. If I wanted to add to that O-line, I'd want to keep the quickness. I'd want to keep the give and go. And I would probably be looking to put a distributor there that could kind of keep up with the La Fota pace. With you got Laffy, who's probably the biggest, strongest, but he plays such a fast and quick release kind of game. But then you talk about the Comiratos, the young the Saracos, the up and comers, and it's just that ping pong, ping 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 kind of game. And I got a player in mind that I think fits and would be awesome there. He's got to be top prospects. I mean, there's a bunch of World Games players from the USA who are. You got to assume they are the top prospects, but this was a World Games alternate, and I think Box would be awesome on La Fota. Christian Boxley, imagine if you had Boxley, Quinn Feiner, and Holzmeier. You get the two quicks, the stretch. You get the athleticism in Feiner. You get the big in Holzmeier, and you get a lot more than just the big in Holzmeier. Like he does, obviously, he throws well, he he moves well, he reads the game well, but I think like that is an untouchable trio that would be. I think that's as good of an O line kind of bulk up as you could put together.
I like it, Steph. I mean, I think what Box is gonna thrive in is the giving it back, right? I think he's so great at catching it in a fantastic space and getting it back to a handler. I think that style is gonna fit him really well. I think a question for both Quinn and Box, and it's kind of what we saw a little bit with the kind of players, the American players they took in 2022, is like, are they going to be able to cut in the smaller spaces? You know, Lafota are less frequently, dragging players into weak and active spaces to create huge cutting spaces. They're more spread out. They're more running across the field. You have to find the small spaces they pick up. It's harder to mark. It's harder to keep up with. But it's like a little bit of chaos, right? And it's like, can a player like Feiner, and I think would probably be less worried about a player like Box, pick his spots. I think someone like Brett, he almost doesn't need to get involved in the madness of Lafota, right? He can hang out and be the deepest player, and he's going to be respected deep as the deepest player. He's never going to have his player poach off under. And, when they get some momentum going forward, he can beat his player deep and send it
for any
deep,
gainer.
right? And, is he a player, he's struggling on the O-line, if he gets moved to D-line, it's going to work perfectly too. He's going to be a massive body taking the biggest option. I think it's hard for me to think of American players who can live in the Lafota chaos and live with the Lafota system. But I think the best pickup I've seen from Lafota in the post-pandemic era has been Francisco Romano. So I'm going to go that direction again and raise you Alvaro Monterde, Steph. I think he's a player who is at the kind of level to really make impact and make Lafota better. And I think the Spanish and the Italian styles are the neatest match of styles there is. Francisco Romano did so well for them at UCF, seems to fit on perfectly. More of the same, I reckon.
Now, I'm looking at Spain. They've qualified for WCC, though, with Quixotes.
Yeah. That's
so
the
as
thing.
much as I like it, I believe it's unrealistic. Alvaro Monterde is like the captain of Quixotes. So I like it, Noah. I'll let you have it.
To Quixotes, I mean, how they would have to do a lot to have a realistic chance of winning. Obviously, they had that big scalp of Clapham in 2024.
Yep.
But didn't even make it to
Ougstijn.
UCF this year, right? I don't think in 2025 they qualified.
Poor Buja.
Yeah.
Buja could be on this pickup wire too. I hadn't thought of him. No, I think it's a good time here. We've talked about the three that were in Two Truths and a Lie, Moon, Gentle, and Lafota, three big Euro teams. Let's take ourselves a little break. We'll be back to discuss further our wish lists, what we would do if we had control of these teams, who we'd be reaching out to. So have a quick drink, take in some of the words of our lovely sponsors, and we'll be back with more right after this.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
I'm Stef Pazzo, and I must eat.
Sometimes commentator, sometimes food eater.
On my ultimate travels in 2023, I sampled culinary classics from all across Europe,
Oh, wow.
guided by some of your favorite ultimate players.
That's the Dutch hospitality for you right there.
I'll give you an insight into the secret spots that only the locals know of.
Are these the best schnitzels in Vienna?
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course.
Go find Stef Pazzo on YouTube. Like and subscribe and follow the European Ultimate Must Eat series.
Oh my goodness. That is unbelievable. And created the net and made good.
That was absolutely incredible.
We're back, and we are getting ourselves a nice little drink of water here. Keep the old whistle wet.
And we're going to talk more about some of the other open teams first before we move on to the mixed and women's divisions. I think we've thoroughly covered those three. But,
will
I
be
mean,
more brevity.
Yeah.
Is what we'll be going with as we move forward here. Brevity, the soul of wit, as Polonius once stated, I believe. That's Shakespearean.
Steph, give me a player or give me a team in the open division.
Okay, let's go with... all right, I think it's better if we go with prospects. So I'm going to give you a player, and I think one of the players who is got to be a top prospect was one that was a lie, Henry Ing. Where's he fit best? Where would you want to see Ing?
I'm not sure. I think there is a chance he goes undrafted, Steph. I think it's possible. You know, not everyone is making the move out. I've got him down as Ranelagh because you were telling me about the Rhino Ranelagh collection.
Sam Micklem, the coach of Rhino, an ex-player and ex-coach of Ranelagh and Ireland mixed at UC.
Yeah, I think it would be a fun for him to play with the hometown team. There's like a good core of Irish players there if they all come back for other adventures, and I think it would be a fun for them to all get together and play. I've got Henry Ing from the like Rhino side of the field, and then they've got a double wide connection there. I thought Xavier Fusat, who's probably the best double wide player here, is two players I've given to Ranelagh as their pickups. But I'm open to other suggestions. Where else do you think Henry Ing's going to go, Steph?
No, I really like the fit there with Ranelagh. You know, he's going to want to take a team that's got a chance. You think of like the top 4, 6 max European teams, but I actually would like or could see him going all the way down under. The Sunder down under, they're only one team. They have vacuumed up all the talent. McGuckin is the only uncertainty whether he's going to go machine or Sunder. But, I mean, imagining Rob Andrews and Henry Ing in the middle of an upfield attack is still a prospect that is scary as hell with Gann distributing. So I'm going to go, for one choice here. I think my Henry Ing, I think I would love to see him being the mountain paired next to Rob Andrews for Sunder.
I like it, Steph.
All right, you want me to keep giving you names?
I can give you a prospect.
All right.
Do you think we're going to see Dylan Freechild?
Well, that is exactly what I had as far as my note next to Dylan Freechild's name. He should be a prospect, but I feel like he's just done everything. He's kind of getting older. He's family-oriented. I think it would have to be a hell of a proposal to get Freechild on to a foreign roster. Of course, I'd love to see it. He's one of the best players of all time.
Broken. Bristol Open, I reckon.
Yeah, I don't know. But to be very honest, I think Dylan Freechild is somebody who might take up an invite from a team that maybe doesn't have this chance of winning, but creates, something worthy for him to jump onto. Like pay, like a little bit of financial assistance to get him over to a fun tournament to play with them or a national championship. So if I was Bropen, I would not hold back on that invite. That's for damn sure. I would make the best package available. You think he'd fit their style, like letting Dylan play Plinko in the midst of the Bropen?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. He's so much better than them. He would be the style.
Yes.
Like, he would be the style. They just shut up and play they just shut up and play Dylan Freechild ball if they manage to get a Dylan Freechild.
Yeah,
I mean at minimum you put him on D line and then
I would make part of my pitch to get him that he would become the logo for the jersey for that campaign. I would go that far to get.
You saying he's a rat, Steph?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he would. The rats would become him. All right, who do you get next here? Or you want me to give you one next?
I've got one next.
Right.
I saw on Instagram.
Ooh, I
Instagram
saw
stories,
it too. Khalif
El Salam, and I just can't
I can't pick a spot for him. I don't think so. What I've also seen on Instagram is Khalif is getting fit. He's high rocks, crossfitting. He does look stronger and trimmer than he was when I last saw him playing. Ex-world gamer, multi-time national champion. He's been center of the offense for Mixtape for a while. He has been a great defensive player, but I can't get out of my head Podnar just having his way with him on the beach, getting steps on single steps. I will not go as far as saying he's washed, but I don't think he is as great of a prospect as he may believe that he is, and I would love to see him. This is where greatness can come, and you prove the doubters wrong, and nearing ends of careers, people pull out their best magic tricks. But I wouldn't be keen to take a gamble on that. Like I thought of open teams in.
This thing, Stef. Did you say on the he said a mixed what?
He
team?
did say a mixed team. I thought of open teams, and then I did also think of mixed teams here too. Like you think of the top mixed teams in Europe first. Actually, I did think that immediately I went to Australia. I was like Lunchbox, and then I thought of the photo of him and Liam Grimmond in the strip call, the Lunchbox versus Mixtape. I was like, no, that wouldn't be the right fit. Mosquitoes. Does he fit there? I don't see it. Deep space.
I think a lot of the mixed teams are like very not picking up a player.
Yeah.
Like, I talked a little bit to Jack Halkyard. I was like, this player who will remain unnamed is looking
Khalif.
for a team. I think. No, it was not. It was not Khalif. It was someone else. I think you might be able to work out who it was, but it was a player I knew was looking for a team, and they wanted the best chance. And I was like, Jack, Deep Space should pick up this player. He was like, I don't think we're going to pick up any players. And I kind of think that's kind of the vibe for a TC Tauscher, Mosquitoes, like the team that might be picking up a lot of players. And if I were to place them on a European team, would be someone like Tartu. And Tartu are a roster who need a lot. They're a roster who needs a lot, right? I think he's going to be
but
one of the best players.
a lot would go a long way with Tartu as well, I think. I think that they are a roster that is top heavy. And if you can fill up their top, and that means you drop off 2 or 3 spots on the bottom end of their roster. Like they turn
like
into
they were
a
only
legit
sending
contender.
like 20 players to tournaments as well. I think there's just spots to be had like as well. I think
I could see Khalif jumping on with Big Milk.
I like it.
Now that we've said it.
Chuck and Hux. I like the idea.
Like
I think
Italian
realistically-
teams, I can't see Khalif on like Padova or Disco Bolo. I
think the more likely way he goes is to like a Pan American team. So I'm looking like Panama top mixed teams like that, the Colombian mixed teams, Academia and Macondo. I think that one of these Pan American teams that is pretty good, that is going to pick up like quite a lot of players. I think.
I mean, maybe a Canadian team would pick them up, but are they gonna? They get enough Canadian players to kind of add on as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see what happens. We'll keep our eye on him. Who do you got next?
What about last one? What about Zurich mixed? They've got a bit of Americanness about them. Zurich mixed. Like Emily Kais might be on that team again in 2026. I could see that happening. He would be a great player.
I could see that happening too. Khalif to Zurich. ZU
mixed.
All right.
Give me a prospect, Steph.
All right, let's go with another World Games alternate. Or no, let's go with another world. I'm going to give you 2 right now. How about that? Rafi Hayes, Thomas Edmonds, 2 of the best players at the World Games. Neither of them are on a team that has qualified. Edmonds is Canadian-American. Rafi is American-German. Do you see any of those passports having anything that will come into play? And that's why I've paired them.
I think
but like
Edmonds is going to go
either
the
of
other
them
way.
is like a mega pickup for anyone.
I think that Thomas Edmonds is going to go to the DC like Dominican pipeline route. Like I think he might have done that trip once, maybe twice before. I think that would be like they're gonna load up, dude. They're gonna load up on
the Blue
DC.
Devils.
Yeah, on the Blue Devils are gonna have a lot of truck stop players. So that would be my top pick for him. It's probably Canada, right? If not,
Goat. But I mean, he would
Yeah.
be. He's West Coast, isn't he? Isn't he like a furious guy? They didn't qualify.
I don't know,
Who
I
did? It's Mephisto, Goat, or Canada Open. I don't know. I don't know if he goes Goat.
yeah, I'm not sure. Why don't we talk? Let's talk about Rafi.
Yeah.
What I had on like I had Rafi down initially as my Lafota needs a deep threat shout. But hearing Brett, do they need both? I mean, I think they would happily take him. He's one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, you know, if I'm on the advisory board for La Fota,
Yeah.
I'm smacking them in the face if they're even thinking to not take
Yeah.
Rafi because they've got Brett.
When you look at Germany, the open teams are all a bad skid. I think it's an easy pick of between which of those teams he would be more likely to go for. Wall City, I think, is the direction of travel. There's more Americans on that team already. I think that there's more kind of English going on in that team as a language. Conrad Schlor kind of being probably part of that World Games tryout, being a big part of Wall City. I can see these things lining up and coming together.
I also think that we're going to get a coaching announcement from Wall City, and I believe it's going to be their ex-American coach, Brian Jones.
Love
who
it.
was coaching the USA team on the beach with Rafi on it. You get the Conrad Schlor connection. I have, I kind of set us up for this one with the passport inclusion, but I just think he would fit that roster really well. It's not what they're missing. Like Wall City have a deep game, but it's definitely a part of their game that they could bolster and be well suited for it. We've got some comments here, Noah. Sosa Ribeiro says purpose. I don't know what that means, but James Pollard in the chat. He is in the final confirmation of joining CUS Padova for mixed for Windmill and WUCC. Pollard, the big man, would be
Sick.
a huge addition. I'd love to know how that came to be. James, keep the info flowing. Who do you know on Padova? Do you know Pavan or Girotto, or where's the connection? I'd love to know. Bunu, I don't know where it is, but but put fucking Pollard and Pavan upfield, and CUS Padova just gets a whole nother level in the mixed division.
James, I'm not sure if you want to play D-line, but I'm going to be honest. I think that the Padova, Girotto, Pavan, they've got like one way to score, right? They just need another way to score. So I can imagine it being like one line being the Girotto Pavan line, whether that's even an O line or a D line, who knows. Another line being like Pollard, looking at some of the other pickups and kind of trying to play a more standard game of like grinding unders, right?
I'm happy to see that the Italians are in the market here. Maybe the CUS Padova wants Khalif too.
Yeah, I can see that happening. That'll be sick. Good job, CUS Padova.
Yeah, and well done. Thanks for letting us know, James. Thanks for joining the show live here. Okay, let's move to the women's.
Let's do it.
I mean, there's so many players. Like, here's my list of players that were not mentioned. Johnny Malks, Micah Glass, Declan Miller, Jacob Fairfax, Tobias Brooks, Grant Lindsley, Trent Dillon, like that, and obviously that list goes on and on and on. And like, there's another dozen or 24 players that were shit hot that don't have a team going. CJ Colicchio played with them before, so he started the introduction. That's the Pollard continuation there. No. So I wonder if Colicchio will go back too, because he was no longer Clapham. Who did he play with this year in the UK?
He played Smash D this year.
He did play Smash D, and they're definitely not going. So we'll see if Khalix goes back as well.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. I think that Colicchio could make a big contribution to a team.
I've got bigs in.
I'm
any
excited
other
to talk about
any other
women's
open
as well.
players that you really want to say something about before, or MMPs that you really want to say something
Now
about?
I want to move over to the FMPs.
All right, I'll give you my top prospect. My number one is Kayla Helton.
Agreed. Number one prospect.
Number one prospect.
Any
Who gets
team.
her? Who does she fit the best? I mean, everybody's gonna. I'm sure she's getting invites. I'm sure her inbox is full. Who does she fit the best? I have my opinion. You got a team for her?
It screams to me, shout.
Ah, see, to me, it screams Jinx. Now, maybe
the
that has
reasons.
something to do with getting the chance to hang out with Kayla when she's on her team in CFC and seeing how much she's into her techno and dancing and partying and like the Jinx vibe there. I also just think like there is this sense of like super athletic vets with Greta Melaga, with Simona Liebert, with Nikki Priyan, with like there is like these players that are still proving to be in their prime, but they are, you know, well experienced players. I think the Helton, you know, if Borneau is back there, like having Borneau on a Garnier, Kayla Helton, like it really just, to me, that is like the level lifter for Jinx. And I just see the fit better. What do you like about the fit with Shout if she were to go there?
I mean, like there's the Kometsova connection of her from the CFC. I think that like Goose went over in 2022 for La Fota. She could go over for Shout 2026. I think the Italians are kind of more in the market for these things. I don't know if Scazzieri and her crossed over
When they played together at CFC.
Of course, yeah, but I don't know how much. Like, there still must be like, even though Scazzieri is probably going to play Fury again.
So she is. She's
Yeah.
playing Fury.
very
I just
much
think, like, I
connected
guess
socially
my
to that.
reservation
Shout.
there is that Shout have so many pickups already that they're going to keep, but I don't think that will stop them from. They're surely dipping into the U.S. market.
And if you
with
want that like
Scazzieri
German
to be able to
techno vibe,
get
they've got
further
plenty of
introductions.
they've got plenty of young German great players on already with
Yeah,
like
Schal and Müller.
and Müller.
You
So
get
why not one more?
Yeah, Sinead Dunn. There's so many. They got Martina Kometsova. They've got great pickups already in Shout. Okay, so Kayla, there. Hang on. Pollard's got more. He had a video call with Giovanni Fumagalli. Last weekend. They may try it for Khalif as well, and CJ is playing too.
Nice.
Fumagalli. I think they used to call him Fuma di Padova. Or maybe not. Let's keep going down the list. Who else do you want to talk about? That you want to go on your list here, or you want me to keep going?
I think you should keep going.
Abby Hecko is high on my list.
Yeah, I
great
have her
defensive
on my
player.
list as well.
She was awesome for Bent. Bent had a great campaign at Nationals. They lost in quarters. Universe to Molly. Ended up 5th or 6th. I can't remember. Anyways, Hecko was at the top of the list in second in scoring, third in assisting, something like that. But for her team, great defensive player. Obviously plays well under pressure. Has great big game performances all the way back from college days into under 24 days. Hecko to me would be a hecka of a pickup. Where does she fit best for you, Noah?
I have to say that there's so many, like when you just have a great defender, you can really go in a lot of places. But I think, unfortunately, what makes the most sense to me is Revo. Like got the Yina Cartagena playing with Bent, and Avi has of course played with Bent this year as well. She went to Colombia for TEP for the preparation with like the world's nations when she was playing with the women's team. Didn't beat them in Colombia, but did when they got to the Gold Coast. I just think it makes a lot of sense with the connections with Montagna and Cartagena, other players in the New York area for her to head over to Colombia. But If she doesn't go to Revo, Steph, where do you think she could go in Europe?
Revo's a good call. I mean, I could even see her going to the other Colombian team, to Macana, because Macana will be shopping.
Yeah.
But I think if she went to a European team, I think I like the fit on Groot. I don't know if there's a connection there. I don't know if there's a cultural symbiotic nature, but I do think she would fit well as that like hybrid style of player. She can play O, she can play D. You know, like they've got really balanced lines over there in Amsterdam. They changed them up, like watching Lola play O on the beach and Floor play D. I think they really have this ability to kind of mix and match, and I think that Abby's style of play kind of fits the mold of what they're putting out there over in Groot. Just makes whatever line you put her on, that line will be stronger. But it's like one more piece of kind of the way they already work. So yeah, if I'm Groot, I'd be sending that invite out. I'd have my eye on her.
I like it. I like it, Steph.
You got check something at me.
I'm gonna go for someone who might move kind of within Europe. One of like the most synonymous pickups in Europe, I would say. Somewhere where you're always wondering where she's going to end up. Potentially, she may play for the home team. There's rumors, maybe not, but Sarah Eklund. Where is Sarah going? If not Valkyria.
Is Valkyria not going?
They're on the list. It's rumored. It's like a note on the thing that people think that they may drop the bid.
Yeah, it says Sweden women's team 1. It doesn't even say it's accepted yet.
Yeah.
It is, right. Okay. Whew. Sarah Eklund would be a massive pickup. For me, if she's not going with... I mean, she's going with Groot, isn't she? Like, isn't that her other team now? She won... Like, she played the last 2 seasons with Groot, or 2 of the last 3. No, she played this season with Groot, I think, too. So I'm saying Eklund is going to stay there.
Was she at Windmill this year with Groot?
Good question.
I feel like I didn't see her at Windmill this year with Groot.
Maybe not. And we weren't at EUCF, so... But we can go back and check that. But I'm pretty sure she is still on Groot. So I'm going to say that she's going to stay put.
I don't think it would be crazy to see her going to Jinx or Shout.
Yeah, Jinx is like her old club as well, right? She went from Jinx to Groot, so that would be my next. I couldn't see her moving too much further than that. I think the obvious ones are Molly Brown, top players, are going to Macana.
Yeah.
Claire Chastain, Lisa P., whoever else they have room for, like the top end.
UN, Ronnie Eder.
Yeah, it's Taggart, maybe, Guy. I don't know how many they will want to take, because they're also going to get, there's a lot of people going to be putting their hands up to play Macana. Everybody wants to play with Manu and Vale for obvious reasons. They've got a great winning culture there. Ever since they won WUCC, they started this team and have just been dominating Colombia, and they've got a proven record of being able to pick up and integrate players really well as they were doing at Revo or better. So those ones seem obvious to me. I guess the rumors of Dawn Colton and Alexandra Barnett are going to play Fury or trying out for Fury. I mean, God help me if they don't make it, but I mean, Fury, the rich getting richer there.
What about a Lindsay Sue?
Yeah,
Like,
Sue
I've heard
or
that
Max.
Sue is moving to New York, but obviously Bent not going as well. I mean, Sue's a player that is constantly thought about as, definitely at like a US national team level, like should be like maybe should have been taken on one of these World Games teams recently. Where would you see Sue?
Sue is a good question that I have not given thought, and now I'm scanning these teams. Like, again, if we're talking top Euro teams, where is, or maybe, is she an ellipsis fit?
Ooh, I like that.
in Australia. Is Sue the ellipsis fit? Like Kat Phillips and Caroline Ma and all sorts of company down there.
Kind of play a Levka-ish game as well, who they fit in as a substitute before. Maybe doesn't move the ball quite as quick as Levka, but great defensive chops and like really runs.
You know who I could see Sue fitting in on is Moon Cup, who have a
like
full O-line of foreign players essentially.
Yeah.
They definitely play like a, let's say, bread and butter offensive style because of it, because they don't get their heavy reps, but they kind of got to let them cook system. She would play with absolute legends like Lagala and Lison Bourneau and so many others on that team. It looks like Forget and Camille Blanc are back. And here's some breaking news. Tivlachi is also playing, so they've got a trio of French world gamers on Moon Cup.
Wow.
I think I could see that fit working out.
Something I've thought about as well is whether Helen Thompson was playing for Moon Cup this year. I wonder if Becky Thompson will be also heading over and getting a tryout and see if she can like complete that sister connection. Canadian UK players. Another place I'm looking at the UK. I wonder if Claire Sharman's going to come back to the UK. She kind of like was the best player when LMU won in 2022, playing off like Jenna Thompson. Obviously, they're not going. But could you go back to like an Iceni? This year, she played Cup Nationals with Portland Schwa, was third in their stats, in their stat getter. They were 5 seed at Nationals, so super strong team out of Portland. Coming back to the UK could make a lot of sense to me.
Robin Fennig is another one. You wonder if she'll show back up on the Yaka roster. I think, she's gone from Heist. She was Sacramento Tower this year, I believe.
Yeah.
Who obviously didn't make it. Fenning coached the Irish national team, knows the Irish really well. She'd love to go back and, to the same venue she coached at. Can still
I had
deliver.
It down as Gravity.
Huh?
I had it down as Gravity.
I mean, Gravity would be nice. I think
more of a project, right?
I think she just got too. If she did come play, I just think she's got too much of a connection to not let it be Yaka. I think she put in the hard yards with Yaka, the hard Yaka. She won an EUCF with Yaka. I think if she comes back, I'd like to see her there. Here's a few more names. I'll rip them off, and if you have any that kind of
speed round
have a space for a place that you think would work. Jenny DeJesus, Sarah Taggart, Claudia Tajima, Caroline Normile, Chloe Hakimi, Mex, Abigail Thorpe, Alexandra Guy we talked about. But any of those that jump out to you as having a clear place or a place that you'd like to land, or one that you think is like, they've got to be called by somebody?
It's so hard. I can almost see like Mex going to like one of the top US mixed division teams. Again, like Mex got a like long mixed history. I wonder if like Jenny DeJesus is someone that we could see going back to Exist in mix, or maybe to Deep Space, like was playing Exist the same year that Leila Denniston went over to play Exist. I think she would be a great athletic defender for them, and obviously is one of the best mixed prospects. The teams, Deep Space is one of the best mixed teams out of Europe.
You know who else I just forgot is World Games alternate, who was awesome, I thought, in London Invite, is McKenna. Lindsay McKenna, she's amp, right? So
yeah,
they're not going. McKenna, and she could go play mixed and or.
She's got to play for McKenna with a name like McKenna, right?
McKenna.
I almost thought you were saying McKenna.
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 Yeah, Manu, go get her, pick her up. If not, European. On the European side of things,
it always feels like a lot of the top women's teams are like full, because we've seen them like get so many of the top European women's teams have like got 4 or 5 pickups for 2025 for Europe
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like they should be continuing to make space. Steph, where do you think these do you think any of the
Sixers are going to be
Spanish
picking up a
players.
lot of players too, by the way.
yeah that would be
Yeah, go on.
top Spanish players, like we've seen so much, I think at the end of the season in 2025, of like the top Spanish beach players. I feel like I was always watching them this year, like Guaycalea, Navas's, players like that, Mato Ortiz. Is there a Spanish women's team going?
Yes.
If
So
not,
they got Spanish women, they got Sharks and Guayota. Guayota is going to suck up a lot of the talent first, I believe, because I think that is going to be Spain's best chance to medal or to quarter, whatever. Like, I don't think they're going to medal. But I think in the mixed division, they're going to give themselves the best chance. So I would hope to see Spain mixed being the priority, and you're going to see Aina Perez, Julia Mas, and company going that way. But Perez and Mas are Sharks players. That
So
is
who
their home
should-
team.
if Guayota are going to be the strongest team, which American player should a Guayota pick up?
I think we just my McKenna is I think that's like what now. Does McKenna fit the style? Do you go with somebody who fits the style, or do you go with that one kind of player that you don't necessarily have, like a big, tall, fully able thrower who can get upfield and bust people up too? Like, I think that's what the Spanish teams don't have, and that's why I would go get it. Is that putting a spanner in the work and cranking things up a bit too much? I don't know, but I would take that shot. I think she's the best mixed player available. That said, Guayota needs more MMPs than Fumps
Yeah.
to bolster their roster. Probably a big dude for Guayota would be something that would make a bigger difference, perhaps.
Yeah. Where can we look to for something like that? Thinking about it, Steph. Big dude
Beast.
plays Beast.
Robert Reed.
Beast to Guayota. I mean, Khalif to Guayota doesn't seem crazy to me.
No, that doesn't either. Well, it was fun to speculate, Noah. We've got some good, legitimate information out of that too, with James Pollard checking in for us. That's exciting stuff. We get we're learning about Tiflachi. We got our 2 truths to know that Feiner and Holzmeier are in La Fota, Kins and Cable are in Gentle, and there might be more confirmed with Gentle. But we're not spilling all them beans. But a bunch of beans spilled, a bunch of speculations made, and a good old-fashioned time, Noah.
It's a great time, Steph. If I've got a final message, it's UK teams, please don't be boring. You know, you're not winning without a few pickups. Come on now.
I mean,
Come on.
I think Clapham already picked up Josh Eels. I just can't
only
let
we
that
know
one.
that one.
I
Only
just
we
can't
know
let
that
that one go. But yes, good luck to all these teams, and thank you to everybody watching live and all of you that will join in and watch with us as this one archives into the future. For Grabco on the 1s and 2s, for No next to me on the screen, I've been Stef Pazzo. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you all next time.